what you can text him.
Stopping in, we been tapping in, we ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight. Stopping in, we been tapping in, we ain't never late. Dropping gems, we been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took L's to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight.
Gone for a minute, now we back again. Part 2, baby. Time to hit that popcorn, Papi. Don't stop, pop that.
Word.
What we got on the dock? I know we got Knock at the Cabin is the first movie, right?
Way to get right into it. Look at you.
Listen, it's part 2, man. If they stuck around for part 1 long enough, we can get straight to this part 2 to Knock at the Cabin.
Hey, there you go. All right. Go ahead.
I
wanted to go see this. That's the one with Batista in it, right?
Yep.
Because at first I was just like, nah, I'm all set. But then I saw the trailer. I was like, this actually looks pretty interesting. See if you can sell me on the movie.
I mean, the basis for the movie is all set up in the trailer, where there is this gay couple who has a young Asian adopted daughter. They are taking a vacation at a cabin in the woods. In the middle of them spending time at this cabin, these 4 individuals show up, led by Batista. One of them is Rupert Grint, or like your boy Ron Weasley, stuff like that. And they all go to this cabin and they tie the couple up, and like their whole thing is they're like, listen, we don't want to hurt you, but like what you guys don't understand is while you've been out here and you've been in the woods and all this other stuff or whatever, literally like the plagues are being unleashed like on the earth, and you 3 have been chosen to make a very important decision. You must make the choice to kill one of you, and then all this stuff will stop. Or I think there is like a time limit on it. It's like, or by 4 p.m. tomorrow, none of you make this decision, you will be the last vestiges of the people left on Earth. It will just be you 3. So like each of them, so they're all 4 of them are just regular people. They had the same dream, the same vision about this couple and everything, and then all this stuff started happening. And so like they all just met up, they crafted like literally the weapons they said that they crafted from the visions and like all this other stuff or whatever. And I'm trying to think of like how much I can get into this without getting spoilery, but it's like so then one by one, like they plead their case to them of like why they should listen. They turn on the TV, that they show like the like live newscasts about like there's tidal waves, there's like, you know, like Batista breaks it down, like he's like, listen, this is what's gonna happen. First thing that's gonna come, there's gonna be massive water, there's gonna be explosions, towers are gonna fall, there's gonna be pestilence, like all this other stuff. Like he's taking like all these things that are gonna happen, and like there's like these certain time points that they have to hit, and they're like, all right, are you going to make your decision? And if you don't make your decision, they then have to take one of their own lives. And it's like, so like there's this whole game of like, are they telling the truth? Are they lying? Is this pre-recorded? Are they just crazy? Should we wait them out? What's real? What's not real? So it's like, it's all that stuff like for the whole time.
Yeah, I'm definitely waiting them out. Definitely waiting. Bro, you got to show me something tangible, fam. You got
like I'm literally showing you the news right now.
Yeah, but I don't care.
What do you mean you don't care?
I don't care. Let's walk outside, fam. Let's walk outside.
They're literally like in the middle of nowhere. So like we can't like go anywhere.
Heck no, this joint could be an experiment. Nah. All right, we all dying. Where's the grenade? Put us in the gas tank. We all just gonna go beef.
Okay, everybody's gotta go now.
Everybody's gotta go. I don't know what to do. You can't kill us all anyway.
No, you only kill one of them.
Yeah, I know. But if I decide not to kill anybody,
no, so that's their thing. Is like, we are not here to kill you.
Right.
These weapons aren't even made for you. These weapons are made to take our own lives. Stuff like that. So like either you sit here and like we kill ourselves and then everybody else in the world dies, or you guys then decide to kill one of you. And that's all it comes down to.
But if everybody else dies, it's just me and my family just still alive?
Yes. The 3 of you. So like you pick 3 of your family members, your wife and one of the kids.
6 Buchanans.
Your wife and one of the kids.
Oh, only 3 of you get to stay alive?
That's it, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a tough decision.
I mean, the other ones have already led a full life, man. Probably go with the youngest. No, I'm just kidding.
Ain't no D1 colleges left, so I was like, I don't need you guys for that, right? Like,
Oh man, no, that's crazy. I kind of want to see this movie.
okay, so like, I don't know like how much I can talk about this movie, like saying like how it went or things of that nature.
Yeah, go ahead, spoil it.
I did have a good time with it.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
Okay.
On the nasty scale, I think it sits between matinee and full price.
Okay.
And I think it's a matinee movie.
Okay.
I've seen it getting some negative reviews, like from certain people, like they just don't like the way that it ended, or things of that nature. But it's like it is an interesting. First of all, I think Dave Bautista was really good in this because it's like, you know, you also have to like they give them like their whole backstories. Like Dave Bautista's thing is like he's like, oh, like I'm a basketball coach. I coach like JV basketball. Like I'm a teacher. All this other stuff. Like this is very important to me, like all this other stuff or whatever. But he's like, listen, I had these visions. He's like, you don't understand. Like, if you don't make this decision, like these kids die and then I die and like whatever. He's like, so like I'm a gentle person. Like I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to do anything. So like I'm trying to make you as comfortable as possible, but I need you to understand the gravity of this situation and stuff like that. So it's like there's a lot of. I think everybody does a pretty good job acting like their role. Like there's, like I said, Rupert Grint or Rob Weasley's in there. He's kind of like angry off the hinges guy. There's something about him that throws like a monkey wrench in the guys making their decision and stuff like that. But then it's like there's like this younger girl and there's like an older black woman who's a nurse, and it's like, you know, some things just happen where it's just like, you know, they have to break into the house. So it's like, yo, why would I listen to you? You guys just broke in here and tied me up. Like you guys are just saying this because like, you know, we're gay and like all this other stuff, and like we've adopted this young girl and all this other stuff. And they're like honestly, we didn't know anything about you like when we got here. We knew that there was going to be 3 people here. We knew this. We saw all this stuff. But or whatever, and it's like it's just tension like the whole time. It's just very tense because then it's like, you know, certain things happen. Dave Bautista has to put his hands on somebody, right? And it's just like they do a very, very good job of like establishing like how massive like he is. Like every step that he takes is like, it's like stuff like that. And it's like, yo, he puts his hand up. I was like, good Lord. I was like, this man would have put me through the house and stuff like that. But it's just like, you know. It's just like when it comes down to it, like what's the decision that you make, right? But I do think it was a solid matinee movie. At the same time, I think it's going to be one of those ones when it does hit whatever streaming service that it comes to. That's when everybody is going to watch it, and you probably should watch it like at that point in time. But like I said, like we left the movie, and I was like, wow, that was pretty good. Okay. And I enjoyed the Knock at the Cabin. Okay. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie too, so like everybody was waiting for like what the twist was like at the end of the movie and stuff like that. Okay. So like that's what it came up. What's some of the movies that? Signs, The Sixth Sense. Got you. Split, like you know what I mean? Like he's all of those type of movies. Yep. The Village. Yep. But I don't know if you had any other questions about Knock at the Cabin that I could answer. That's not spoiler.
No, I got some time. I may go see it on the matinee.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
Yeah. I may call you for that movie bar call. Come on now.
I got you. And then like the only other movie that we have is like the big movie. So right now it's Antman Quantumania. Wow, way to get right to the point. I was like, you don't even want to get to the plot or nothing like that.
Go ahead, I'll let you do it.
I thought you don't want to handle that.
Nah, I know how you feel about your multiversal movies, so I don't want to downplay it.
I mean, I'm trying to think the basis of it before we get into our spoiler talk. Ant-Man and the Ant family, if that's what you want to call them, they inadvertently...
I must say, I know you told me I'd be real hard about this, but again, some little idiot teenager is ruining the lives of, like, I was feeling real Kate Bishop-y in this movie, just so you know, but go ahead.
I feel like we're going to get there when we get into our the spoiler part of it. Okay. The Ant family, they inadvertently sent a signal down to the quantum realm because they're trying to map out the quantum realm, apparently. And in doing so, they wind up alerting force down in the quantum realm, which gets them then transported down there. While they're down there, they wind up finding out that the quantum realm is under like a dictator type rule, and the person that is ruling is none other than Jonathan Majors as Kang. They are almost immediately separated, and in one of the groups is Janet Van Dyne, Hank Pym, and Hope. and Janet, who had spent the last 30 years in the quantum realm. Like, you find out like a lot of the things on there. But then the movie then becomes not only like, do we need to get home, we need to make sure that this guy does not leave as well, because he is not who he appears to be.
Right.
Do you want to just give like your quick take on the movie, and then we'll move into the spoiler, and then like we'll really get into the nitty grit?
Trash.
Okay.
I don't want to say trash. I don't want to be super critical of the movie.
I mean, we're here to be critical. That's the whole point, all right?
I'm going to be critical. I don't want to be super critical of the movie. But
speak on it.
I was not entertained. Like, there were some laughy, jokey jokes here and there that's just like, that was funny. But just like, I don't know, I felt like I was watching, like, I don't know, something that should have been on like Nickelodeon or something. It just like
Spy Kids, because like that's what a lot of things get giving.
People are making that comparison as well. I don't know. I felt like the whole MODOK thing was like throwing me off. Like, I know that's part of it, but it's like it didn't seem like it looked bad.
Oh, it looked awful.
It looked bad, and then like even the whole Kang being a part of this, he carried this movie as much as he could. He was definitely carrying in this movie. But even
I was rooting for Kang the whole time in this movie.
Of course. Bro, when I showed up, the dude was like, "Oh, you here for Ant-Man?" I was like, "No, I'm here for Kang." He was like, "Excuse me?" I was like, "The black guy in the movie?" He was like, I was like, "You don't watch the movie. That's okay."
Yeah.
But I was just like he's definitely if he's not in this movie, I want my money back. You understand what I'm saying? But even him being in the movie, I felt like they were trying to put, because I know all the other movies that come after this, so this is like, aside from him being in Loki, this is like the major theatrical introduction of Kang. So I felt like they almost put too much of an overemphasis of Kang to the point to where like his character kind of took away from the substance of the movie, if that makes sense.
It does, because like it does get, it's almost like there's a movie before he shows up and then there's a movie after he shows up.
Right.
And it's like once that point merges, like it becomes like a weird.
Right.
It's a little messy. Is like what the movie is like for the most part.
Right.
It's like the best way to put it. Is like there's like it's almost like there's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many things. There's too many people to try to keep track of.
Right.
And things of that nature. But like, did you want to just give it like your quick on the scale before we fully get into it?
If I was going off the nasty scale, I would wait for streaming.
Okay.
If it's on the raisin scale, I could have definitely watched this on my phone at the crib.
Okay, but you're not skipping it. You watch it on your phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it only because it goes into all the other movies that I'm going to eventually watch this year, right? And I don't want to not be able to enjoy these because I didn't watch this other one. But this was kind of like if you order appetizers at a restaurant and they brought you the wrong appetizers, and then not only did they bring the wrong ones, they weren't really that good either. So it's just like that's exactly how I felt in the movie. It was just like this is Marvel, and it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. And like I said, Kang did his best to carry, but I just felt like they were trying to force feed the whole Kang situation. That I kind of felt like how you say sometimes. I felt like they kind of sped it up too much, or like they try to compact too much into a little space, and because of that, it took away from not only his character but from the movie as well. And ultimately, to get into an early spoiler, Ant-Man should not have been able to work this man up.
But technically, he didn't though. That man was getting his ass handed to him.
He was. This ain't what you want. But either way, it's like, fam, he should not have lost.
All right, so like,
when he went to die for that portal, I was like, oh yeah,
oh yeah, me too. I was like, no. Before, all right, we're gonna get into it, but like, if I was to put out, I think it falls squarely on the matinee for me. I wanted it to be a full price. I wanted it to be a must see. I thought it was just a matinee. Like, I feel like, especially people who are invested in the MCU, it's like, you got to see this movie. So, like, the question is, how much money would you spend on this movie? And it's just like, I feel like matinee price, it was like, I guess I got what I paid for going in there. I do think that, like, there were massive expectations on this movie. And, like, that's the problem, is it didn't live up to those expectations. And, so, like, I guess now we could full on, from here on out, I mean, from the rest of this part of the podcast, it's all going to be spoiler Ant-Man talk. So if you don't want any part of that, now's the time to check out. We'll see you on part 3 for sports. If you're still going to stick around, we're about to get into it. Here's your chance to go. 3, 2, 1. Jonathan Majors was great in this movie.
Yes.
And I think Kang is cool.
He's Jonathan Majors.
But there's a lot of storytelling stuff in here that were just like, if it was done better, things would have made more sense.
Yes.
So like the whole thing about the quantum realm, or just being in there. So like the way that they talk about it and the way that it's executed doesn't make any sense. Because like, we see Janet down there. She's been down there for 30 years. She was down there by herself. No one ever gets to get into the quantum realm. But then we go into the quantum realm. Kang, who's also there, isn't allowed to leave. How do these other people get down there, and how does he conquer them? Because they're like, oh, he came to us and he conquered our world. I'm like, oh, I thought he couldn't get out.
Facts.
I'm very, very confused on like how the logic in here works.
And how are you by yourself, but you were crusading against Kang with all these other people?
Yeah.
Like, where did they come from?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, where did these people come from? And I don't think that they did a great job in this movie of showing how imposing that Kang is. So, like, I feel like before we even get into this, I feel like I need to clear up, like, a certain misconception, like, about Kang. Okay. Because, like, he's the next big bad after Thanos. So, like, what I keep seeing and I keep hearing is, like, yo, this guy's nowhere near as thorough as Thanos. He's nowhere near as this is Thanos. And like, I don't
plays dice with Infinity Stones.
And like, I don't know how to like let people know, because it's like that is what Marvel's kind of been saying. But it's like in the comics, like Kang is a top 15, 20 villain. Yeah. He's not a top 5 villain. Thanos is a top 3, top 5 villain. And it's just like the thing that's supposed to make him a little bit more trickier to deal with is the time manipulation and the different versions of Kang and the variants of him and stuff like that. This Kang the Conqueror, the guy that we got, is supposed to be the scariest Kang, because he's the most, like, as you can see, like, spoiler alert, in the post-credit scenes when we get to see the Council of Kangs and all the different versions of them,
which was better than the actual movie.
Both of the end credit scenes saved the movie entirely, because like after the first end credit scene, I was like, oh, okay, I was like, I'm kind of with it. Then after the second one, I was like, oh, let's fucking go. But I was like, I didn't feel like that at all.
In the movie for another 10 minutes, explaining to wifey what Loki was, the TV show. It's just like this is how all this happened. It's like, it was terrible.
But so all of the other different variants of Kang, like they're all like kind of experts in certain things, or specialists in a way. Like if you think about it, like NBA players and stuff like that, it's like you have your 3-point shooters, you have your defenders, but then you have your all-around players and stuff like that. So like Kang the Conqueror, like his whole thing is he's the most well-rounded one of them, but he's also the best strategist, and he's like the most like hand-to-hand Kang. Like his whole thing is like he's almost like a Thanos in a sense where it's like, I'd rather get my hands dirty doing this. Like I want to show you how filthy like I am at this. Like he's the type to travel back to like the Spartan age, learn how to be a Spartan, and then be like, oh, now I'm going to be the best Spartan, and now I'm going to eliminate the Spartans. Right. So now I'm the only person that knows how to do the Spartan stuff. Like that's his type of deal. And it's like that's why they're like afraid of him, because it's like, he literally was on a one-man war against the other Kangs. It was almost like Jet Li's the one. Where it's like, you guys all need to go. And it's like, they all got together. It was like, we need to get him up out of here. Like, that's kind of like how it works. But it's like, the movie doesn't really give you that level of gravitas to him. Right. Because it's like...
Question.
Go ahead.
Is he dead?
I think absolutely not. He's not dead.
I was thinking.
I don't think so at all.
I was thinking.
And it's like like.
I feel like him getting sucked into that thing has probably just made him more powerful.
Thank you very much, because like that's what I said. I was like, this version is definitely going to be back, and now it's going to be like, oh, I've merged with this thing, and like now I can just travel through time whenever I want. Right. Like it's going to be.
Kind of reminds me of like the What If version of King the Conqueror, where he was just like able to jump through.
Oh, that's Ultron.
Was that Ultron?
It was Ultron and Vision. That was the whole thing.
Oh yeah. That's right. You're right. My bad.
But it's like, but yeah, you're right. Like just like that, he's gonna do something like that where it's like, I don't even need Infinity Stones. Like I can literally just go wherever I want. I don't need a ship. I am the battery or whatever. I feel like that's what's gonna happen with him. So like, I feel like I needed to just clear that thing up. Is like he is, first of all, he's an Avengers level threat, but he is not like the Dr. Dooms, Thanos, Magneto, Galactus, like these guys that have like the one name that like you should be terrified. Honestly, Ultron is a bigger villain in the comics than Kang is, right? Type of deal. So it's like I feel like the expectations need to be tempered quite a bit just from that. But that being said, like there was a lot in the movie where it's like Kang is supposed to be pretty smart, and it's like I understand that like we're in the quantum realm, there's nothing here, so like that should have been the main thing. Is like I don't have a lot of resources, but like when you look at the city and stuff that he built and like all this other stuff or whatever, I'm just like, how did he get all these? How did he do all this? How did all this happen? Like where did all this come from? Where did all these people come from? And then like he has these robots or people. I like. For a long time, I thought they were robots. And then there's the guy who can read minds, and he's like, oh damn. I was like, wait, so they're people?
Right.
I'm very confused because like this one girl was cutting them up, and they were just turning into vapor.
Right.
And I was like, what is happening with it? Like I don't understand like any of the logic like in the, like a lot of this stuff.
It was Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
I don't know like what you want to get into first. Like if you want to just go like character to character, if you want to go plot point to plot point, and just talk about like how we felt about them.
Sure, we could do character to character.
I'll go worst character.
Kate Bishop.
No. To me, worst character was Hope, the Wasp. She was hot trash in this movie. The hot trash wig.
Oh, yeah.
She had the hot trash wig.
Yeah.
She was like...
And you're like, bro, just shut up.
Just like, shut up. You don't do anything in this movie. You don't do anything.
Shut up. Like, you just here... Like, you are a full-grown adult, and you're just here to argue with your mom and be mad dumb. Like...
Oh, I'm going to have a lot to say about Michelle Pfeiffer. Like, when we get there. But we could go right now. But
what other movie was she in? Hope.
Well, she's from Lost. Like, that's her main thing.
That's what it was. What it was. Yep. She was annoying in that, too.
But she looked off. That hair cut is awful in this movie, bro.
Yeah.
I literally was drinking my soda and I was like, what the hell? I'm gonna fucking Kate from Lost. Evangeline Lilly.
Like I said, it was nobody in the movie that was just. Even the dad was on my nerves. Like, fam,
you're jumping all around. I was like, can we stick around with the Wasp? We got Hope.
Yeah, Hope is like. All right, so she had a couple little fight scenes or whatever, and then she shows up at the end to help.
I was so mad that she was the one that came back through that portal. I was so mad,
and I was mad that the portal just opened right back up afterwards. Like
that was the whole point. It's like we can't get this portal open.
Right, like the whole sacrifice of you staying here. So that would have actually made it a little more satisfying if you're like, all right, we're stuck here with these people. The next Ant-Man figuring out how to get you back and all that. Nope, they were just like, oh yeah, we're hugging. Troop portal opens. This man's at the coffee shop. Like, what is going on right now? This joint is so terrible, man. Some dude was mad at me in the theater because, like, so we're walking out, and he seemed like he was on a date, and he's walking out, and the guy who cleans the theater was like, so how was the movie? And he looked like he was ready to be like, awesome. I was like, trash. He was like, I was like, don't get the mumbling under your voice, fam. Just admit this movie was terrible, man.
So I don't think it was terrible, but I don't think that it was that good. I thought it was very mid.
It didn't live up to the expectations of what I had going into the movie.
So I know we're going to get back into the character stuff, but I need to talk about like that as well. Is like I've been having this thing, especially with superhero movies, where the trailers, the more you show me in the trailers, the more I believe the movie's going to be ass.
Yes.
So like my expectations for this movie had lowered significantly because they were showing so much stuff in these trailers.
And I didn't watch the trailers because I know the trailers they have been wild. Like I haven't watched trailers for any movies because I know that they've been wild, except for the Knock at the Cabin. Because I wanted to see what that was all about. But
so when you go to the movies and you still don't watch, you don't sit and watch the trailers?
No, I purposely like show up when the movie starts so I can get the snacks and be in line and all of that, so I miss the previews because it's out of control. Like because there was a what movie was it that they showed? There's a movie coming out. I can't remember what the preview was, but I was like, all right, I just watched the whole movie. The Flash joint. I'm like, I just watched the whole movie. There's no need to watch this. Like, you're struggling, and now you're bringing back old characters because that was the last time the franchise was good, and I don't think anybody wants to support the Flash because he's in the news for something crazy. So
he's literally kidnapping people.
That's what it was, right? Yeah. So it's just like, this movie's already bombed before it got started. Like, I don't need to watch the Netflix show
so
on the big screen.
You don't watch the Fast 10 trailer?
I did watch the Fast 10 trailer, and now I don't need to see the movie.
You should, because it looks fantastic. Day one, I'm in there.
They are wild.
Creed 3 trailer?
No, I think we missed the Creed 3 trailer.
Okay.
I think we missed.
I already bought my tickets for it. Those are already secured.
Oh yes. But I think the Creed 3 trailer is strategically telling you the stuff that you already know is going to happen in the movie.
Which is what good trailers are supposed to do.
Good trailers are doing, and it gives you the stuff that you need to see in order to entice you to come see it, and all their interviews have been stellar.
Yeah.
Like, all their interviews have been stellar. It makes me want to go see this movie. The plot is better than Ant-Man's.
But so like on vice versa of it, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailers, they've been showing the same stuff, and it's not giving you much.
Right.
And that leads me to believe this movie's going to be good. It's like, the more and more stuff you show me in the trailers, and like every time I watch Ant-Man, I was like, wow, they're showing a lot more stuff.
Yep.
They keep showing way more stuff.
Yep.
I was like, they're showing too much stuff. And
So
then
it was like, hey, come and hang out with me. I got this, and I got that. I got, like, I kind of don't want to go in there.
And then it's like, this is all I got.
Yeah, this is a gingerbread house. You're going to try to throw me in a pot of stew.
Jesus Christ.
All set.
But like, so like, I just need to say, like, my expectations were not that high for this movie. Like, I was excited for Kang, but I was just like, I don't know. There's a lot of the bad signs that I've been looking for was showing up. Right. Other character, you want to get into her, you call her Kate Bishop. It's Cassie Lang, the daughter. Stature, she's supposed to be.
So freaking annoying. The entire movie. I could not find one moment in this movie where I was like, okay. The entire movie, she was annoying.
But like,
from beginning to end, she was annoying.
What did she do specifically that
even when she was like, the worst part was like, I'm sorry, this is all my fault. Yes, I know, Captain Obvious.
No,
I know this is all your fault.
You know whose fault it all really is? It's Janet Van Dyne, bro. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
You were down here for 30 years. You knew exactly what was down here.
You knew it was
and
down
you
here.
didn't tell. You didn't think. You thought nobody needed to know about anything that was going on down here.
Because then that message
There's
never
a
gets
man down here who you touched his brain, and you knew that he was killing other versions of himself and conquering planets. You were down here for 13 years. You didn't think the first thing when you came back is like, yo, I don't really want to talk about a lot of stuff that's going on, but I need you guys to know we can make this nigga can never come up. He can never come up. There's a crazy dude down there. Don't worry about the quantum. We're never going back to the quantum realm. Don't go there. She didn't think I know. Then they get down there and they're just like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, you don't need to know. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. What are you talking about?
Yeah, she's terrible.
What are you talking about? We don't need to know.
She's terrible.
What a waste of Bill Murray too, by the way. Like all these, like I was just like, I thought he was gonna
5 minutes of Bill.
Couldn't even tell you what Bill Murray's character's name was right now.
Nope. Fine. Mind you, he went from comedic to serious to treacherous. Like, he showed so many. He showed more acting skills in the 10 minutes he was on screen than some people did that entire movie.
You know who he was?
No.
He was Lando Calrissian from Star Wars. That's exactly what he was. Hey, Han, what's going on? By the way, Darth Vader's in this room over here. Bye. That's literally what he did. But he didn't get to have the Lando moment of coming back with the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
You're like, hey, what's up, Baz? Like, none of that happened.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, the daughter is definitely the worst for me, though.
No, to me, Hope was the worst. I was just like, oh my God. Like, when she came back through the portal, I literally was like, it should have been Michelle Pfeiffer. Or it should have been Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas. Yes. Is what it should have been.
What's crazy is like, I'm just now realizing that that's Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer. Because they've been in so many movies together.
Yeah.
Like,
but, I mean, we could get into the Cassie thing and stuff like that. It's like, they do this thing, right, where I'm trying to think of like another character. Spider-Man, for instance, right? We know Spider-Man is pretty smart. He doesn't very often get to do a lot of like his really smart stuff besides like, you know, messing around with his web shooters. But when other people are talking sciencey stuff, he's like, ooh, like he knows what he's talking about. Like he's never lost in stuff. Right. I don't know where we all of a sudden came from where Cassie Lang is so smart that she can literally map the quantum realm and send signals down to a place that one, she's never been, and two, never existed before her. Like, what you trying to tell me in the whole time that they were all blipped out from Thanos? Like, this is like she learned quantum physics like that?
You're getting arrested. You are arguing with me with your father as if me saving the world was not enough. Like, you have a suit that you have not told me about. Hope, you over here trying to mother my child, and you not even my mother's this girl's child. She has a mom.
Where is she, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know where this absent parent is.
You're trying to tell me that my daughter's been arrested at least 4 times and I don't know about it and the mom don't know about it?
I'm a mandated reporter. I'm a mandated reporter, and she needs to be taken away from this family. But it's just like, yeah, it was just like mad, reckless, dumb stuff going on. Like, you need to build a relationship with this girl. You don't give her a suit, have her lie, and have her out here trying to play freedom riders in the worst possible situations ever. And it's like,
So, like, that's the thing what she's supposed to be, right? Is, like, the moral compass. She's supposed to be, like, hey, like, I understand that, like, the world, like, Thanos isn't here anymore, but it's, like, there's still things that need to be done. You're supposed to give us this. And the time to do that was, like, when we're in the quantum realm and we're meeting all these, I don't know what to call them, quantum people, the refugees, is, like, that should have been her.
Human-looking people.
A lot of human-looking people in there, right? But like these refugees or whatever is like she's supposed to be like the gateway to them. Is like, oh, like these are their struggle and all this other stuff. I don't know any of their names. I was like, there's Goo Guy, there's Robot Guy with the laser head, there's Diesel Chick, and then my man Cheaty can read minds. And I was like, besides that,
of course, you got a 2-family apartment that can move
and then moving out
and fly and shoot things.
I really did enjoy though when one of the houses died and the other house was
holding. I was like, what is happening right now?
I laughed. Like, I legit laughed.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, well, where's the little baby houses at? Like, because they have to be reproducing, or is somebody building these life forms?
You're asking too many questions.
I was like, I was just like, oh my goodness, it's so many holes in this movie.
And that's the thing is like other movies are The Mandalorian.
Yes.
How many planets do they go to? And it's like, he's like, hey, we're just stopping here real quick. Then you learn about the plight of these people, and then you help these people. And then so that way you build a relationship and a bond where you just like, oh, like now there's a respect between them.
Right.
So like that. We didn't get any of that stuff. So like, I don't even know who these people's names are. I didn't care about them.
They're all pieces of a bunch of stuff that he's already killed. So not only are these people here, did
Kang not kill them?
They all belong to other people that he has supposedly killed.
Yes.
These are the last of everybody that he killed. So
yes.
It wasn't just one group. There's civilizations of people that he is murking off.
Yes.
Like I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
And like that to me is like these are the easiest people for Kang to kill.
Yes.
Because like who did we see Kang kill or do anything to besides like when they're running away in masses and he's just like shh, shh.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like we don't get like the
they wasn't running first. They was fighting, and then when that man
he showed up, he was like, oh.
You want some of this too, old man? No.
Alright, so like that was our bit of like Cassie thing is like because like we're supposed to care about her because like she's supposed to be one of the young Avengers and she's supposed to be this and that. She's supposed to be with Kate Bishop and like all this other stuff. And I was like, if I don't see Cassie Lang again, I think I could care less.
Set, man.
I'd be fine.
I'm all set. This is all my fault. I know.
So we can move on to. I mean, we already started the Janet thing. Let's go. Janet Van Dyne, the old Wasp, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yep.
Like I said, my whole thing is just like this whole. Like I've been here, I was trapped here. Apparently, she has a whole mysterious past and like all this other stuff. Like that should have led to her doing something cool. She never really does anything cool.
Nope.
Everybody just talks about her like she's cool.
Yep.
And it's just like I'm waiting for her to do something. I'm waiting for her to like do some sort of flip or like I know about this thing and like I can do this. And it's like it never really happens. She just keeps talking to different people who are like, wait, you're her, you're this, like you're that. By the way, you definitely banged Bill Murray and you most certainly banged Jonathan Majors because it's like ain't no way that you spent more than 3 minutes with this dude. Like and you were just like, yo,
Michelle Heffer.
Wow, like what's up?
When she said, I was down here for 30 years.
Getting the brakes knocked off you.
Listen, it wasn't one time. It was like, that man Bill Murray kept shooting shots and looking at that old boy like.
I thought for sure we were going to get a Michelle Pfeiffer baby in the Quantum. Like, they were gonna, like, you know what I'm saying? Like she was like, I left everything down here, even my child. I thought that's what was going to happen.
That would have been dope. That would have been dope.
A little baby Kang, you know what I'm saying? Like I was waiting for something.
Yeah,
like that.
Bill Murray was going in. It was like, we have a lot of catching up to do.
So, but at the same time, he was like, "Oh, you Hank, I heard a lot about you. You got a good one here, shorty. Though."
He was acting like one of two people: a pimp named Slickback, or old boy from Dead Presidents when he first came home. And he was just like, how you think she learned that new trick? I was taking care of her while you was at the war. You're like, yo, fam, what is going on right now? This man almost died trying to get wifey back, and she down here with Bill Murray chilling. That's why she ain't say nothing.
We don't talk about what's
she probably got a bunch of bodies down there. She was like, oh, you was worried about Kang? I was worried about you fighting about all these misters I got down here. Because that little alien homie at the bar, like, he don't speak what we speak.
There's the other alien dude with the handshake was cutting off his hand. And I was like, what is going on here?
Drink the ooze. I'm like, shut up. Like, What is happening right now?
We can transition that right into Hank. I actually thoroughly enjoyed Hank Pym in this movie. Like, I thought he was hilarious. I love when he's super into the ants. Like, whenever he's like, yeah, but you gotta understand the ants. It's like that. Like, I feel like he really like leaned into that. Like, it's like, to me it was funny, but it was like he was thorough, bro. Like, he's the only person. Like, he was really cool. He's like, hey, you was down here for 30 years. You was getting your rocks off. I was up top. I had to get myself. It was just like I put my hands on the goo things. It was just like, I'm really chilling. I found these 1,000-year-old ants that have been talking to me the whole time. It's just like, yo, I felt like he was just fine.
He's an enabler.
He 100%. So, like, can I talk about like what my ending for this movie would have been? Can I do that real quick?
I like that.
So, like, we do this whole thing, right, where this portal, once it closes, we cannot leave the quantum realm. And it's set up at the end where Scott is clearly about to be like, close this portal. I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to make sure that Kang does not leave. If anybody is supposed to walk through this portal, it should have been Janet and then Hank being like, nah, I got my shorties back. Like, I understand. I've lost you for 30 years. I'm not going to lose you again. If we're going to go out, we're going to go out together. We're going to throw Scott back through this portal.
King down here stroking you.
Yeah, come on. Like, yeah. We're not
ain't going by yourself.
We're not
I'm
doing
coming
that.
with you.
And then, they should have sent Scott back through. They should have closed the portal from their side, and then Kang should have bodied the both of them. And he should have said something to them. He's like, yo, do you really think that, like, you won? Do you think that, like, you've actually done something? All that you've done is show me that it's possible to get out of here and to come back. And you brought me the one person that has the one thing that I need, Pym particles. And I'm going to solve this, and I'm going to get out of here. You've done nothing. You won the battle, but you will certainly lost the war.
Like, I wanted to give you your time back. Now I'm going to take your time away.
And this is another thing. I was going to get into the whole Kang stuff in general, just like his whole characterization is like, because I thought that they were going to go the route of like, because he makes a lot of promises in this movie where he's like, I promise you this, I promise you that. They should have shown where it's just like, he's just like, no, I hold my, if I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm still going to do all the evil shit that I said I was going to do.
Right.
But it's just like, hey, you steal this thing from me, I'm going to make sure that your daughter's safe. Thank you for giving me this thing. Here's your daughter. And then Scott and them, like, they're just like, why does he want this thing so bad? And then Michelle Pfeiffer's like, yo, you can't let him out because he's going to do this. And then they're the ones that have to come back and, like, you know, betray him in a sense. It's like, yo, we had a deal. I said that, like, you could go. And it's just like, well, now you don't want to leave. Now I got to take you out.
Right.
Type of deal or whatever. And then the same thing was Michelle Pfeiffer. He's like, I promise you that I'm going to send you home. That was, like, his whole thing. And she does go home. And it's like, you know, so at the end, if she comes back and he's like, I told you that I was going to send you home and that I was going to do this, this, and this. And I did. Our contract is null or like whatever. And then it's like, it's a wrap now. It's a done deal. Like, that's the way it should have been. And it's just like, they don't give us like any of that dope stuff with him. He does beat the living shit out of Scott Lang at the end of this movie though. And it's just like, you know, all his shit's all ripped up from like the answer. So it's like, it's just Jonathan Majors versus Paul Rudd.
This is just hands.
Yeah,
this ain't no suit. This ain't no smoke and mirrors.
He kicked his leg up, caught it with his hands, and then dropped it, axe kicked this man on his head.
Work.
Because like, he even has him in the armbar, like at the end, and he's leaning on the thing, and then he just takes the Pym particles and is like, yo. Like, that's kind of like what he does.
Gotta
like,
shoot right quick.
Right. And like, I don't know, like that's like,
which is kind of weird too, because when she put the Pym particles on the joint, it just grew.
There's two different ones. Like they talk about it. Like there's one that shrinks things and there's one that enlarges things. And
I didn't notice
like
if he had put both on there. Yeah. I just knew he threw them on there. I was like, oh, so.
Well, he threw like 6 of them shits on there, so it's like, you know, they could have all been. They were Skittles at that point. Like it was like this thing is shrinking and it's growing. Like we don't know what's going on. Like yeah, and like that's my thing is like that's why I think Kang is just in there.
Yeah.
So then like who's left? We could just talk about Antman in general, like Scott.
I mean, he's funny.
That's what I mean. Is like I feel like he did what he was supposed to do. I thought the scene when they entered the probability chamber, is that what it was called?
Yep.
Where it was, I thought that scene was pretty cool.
That was a dope scene.
A little bit too much with the Baskin Robbins guy.
Yeah.
That was a little bit too much. It was just like, oh, like this is a possibility too, which also doesn't make sense because it's supposed to be all probabilities like at this point in time.
Right.
So it's just
and they're
like,
all popping out of him. So where's the Baskin Robbins guy come from?
Doesn't make a lot of things just don't make sense. They just throw jokes in there to make jokes and stuff like that. I did think that seems pretty cool.
Thought it was whack that him just touching hands with Hope makes everything go away.
I just hated the fact that we saw this in the trailers, bro. This whole entire scene was in the the trailers, besides the fact that like of them saying what's going on, like I remember being like, why is there like a? I remember when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, he's gonna get a bunch of ants and they're gonna go to the thing and it looked like a bunch of ants. And then in one of the trailers, I was like, oh no, like they're different Ant-Mans, and then like there's a bunch of different Wasps, and like they showed her save him and everything. I was like, they are really showing everything in this fucking trailer. Like, what is going on?
They don't got nothing left. They don't got nothing left.
And then it's like their solution, because like he throws the thing at it initially to shrink it, and it like fizzles out, and he's like, oh man, what are you gonna do? How about just shoot 5 of them, and then like that'll work? I was like, that's a weak solution to this. I was like, what is going on?
I'm gonna shoot more of what didn't work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try more of what didn't work.
Yeah, that would be like if I was just like, yo, you gotta go beat up Raisin, and I was just like, spitballed you, and he'd be like, oh man, like why would you spitball me? And I was like, damn, that didn't work. Like you're not all of a sudden gonna go, oh, like you just get more annoyed. Yeah, like that's not how it works.
No, yeah, it was terrible.
It's not terrible.
I'm sorry.
You're using the word terrible. I feel the movie's not terrible.
Trash.
You keep saying trash, too, but it's like, I think it's on the level.
Unentertaining.
I think it's on the level of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
I thought that movie was trash.
No, I think Thor: Love and Thunder is trash. And
I
think
thought
this is
that
better
movie
than
was also. Is Marvel not as good as they're playing? Like, I think they're in a drought right now.
Well, that's what everybody's whole thing is. Like, this phase of Marvel is ass and like stuff like that.
And
I don't think it's as bad as
I'm not going to see that Flash movie.
It's not a Marvel movie.
He's quickly. Yeah, I'm just saying I'm not going to see it because he's quickly running around kidnapping people. I'm all set. I'm all set.
It was very unquickly. He was doing that for like 4 weeks.
What?
Yeah, it was a wild time. Like, just Google Ezra Miller Hawaii.
How is he in a movie, bro?
He should be in a penitentiary. Like, it's crazy.
Forget it. We digress. I apologize. But
There is a big elephant in the room that we have not really talked about. You touched on it very briefly.
What's that?
My man MODOK. MODOK is in this movie.
I didn't know what to say. So his acting was actually very funny.
Yes.
It was comical. I enjoyed it. But it was just so hard to get past the face, bro. It's like...
Which is a thing with MODOK, the character in the comics. Like, he is a big, ugly head.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's really only 2 routes that you can go with him. You can either go, like, the Terminator route, where it's just, like, he's a complete machine, like, literally mental organism designed only for killing, where it's just, like, he is, like, a machine, and he goes and he kills everything. Everything has to be logic. So you go the Terminator route, or... you go the spoofy, almost Deadpool-y route, where it's like, everybody's making fun of him, and he's a joke character, which... is kind of the route that they did go.
He reminded me of the guy from Ninja Turtles.
What guy from the Turtles?
Brain or Crane.
Oh, Krang? Yeah, Turtles! What are you doing, Shredder?
I'm like, this is a bad Crane right here. Like, it was. I mean, like I said, he has some comical relief. But, like, I wasn't too into his character either.
So, but that's another thing, too, that was bothering me, is they were dancing in the 2 worlds with him, right? Because, like, there's a point where, like, you know, they're just like, oh, that means they're tracking you. They're going to send the hunter. And I was like, oh, shit, like, who's the hunter? Like, who's it going to be? And then it's like, it's MODOK. And it's like he comes in and, like, he's sawing people and stuff like that. But then immediately, like, he's goofy and stuff like that. I was like, wait, are we supposed to be scared of MODOK, or are we not supposed to be scared of him?
Right.
Because, like, that's another way to build up Kang, where it's just like, if everybody's so afraid of MODOK and then MODOK is afraid of Kang, like how crazy is Kang supposed to be, like type of deal? But it's like even
Darren?
Yeah. Even MODOK doesn't really do anything that cool for the most part, and it's like all they do is just roast him for the whole time, which is like which they should have, but it's like he should have been terrifying to everybody else, but not to them because they just know him as Darren, or whatever.
When that man got to talking while Kang was talking, and he pressed him against the wall, like, ooh, whoa, fam.
You don't talk while I'm in the room.
You don't even talk while I'm in the room, fam.
Yeah.
Like
that whole scene, that whole jail scene was like the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
It felt like.
I mean, because
that was like the most Kang. It was like the most Kang being Kang.
The 2 dope scenes from Kang that I enjoyed was that moment, and when he first initially got there and was talking to Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah. Because that man was wheeling and dealing.
Boy, was he.
Wheeling and dealing. He was like, only thing I got left to do is throw this thing on you. You're going to do everything I want you to do.
He had her with beakers and shit. Like,
he's standing in the back like, go ahead and cook that up, girl. Good job. It's like, yo.
Put them cheese on my eggs, man.
Right.
I like it.
Right. That man
some fish tacos.
Right, man standing in the back like Melvin. He was all set Michelle Pfeiffer down there sweating. I got you, baby. I got you. I got you, daddy.
I thought it was a pretty cool scene. Like when she does touch it and like he notices like what's going on, he just kind of just like leans in. And he's like, now? He's like, I know you saw some shit in there. He's like, Now we can settle this like some class. We can settle this with some class, or we can get into some gangster shit. And then like she chooses, so let's go.
Some stuff in there.
I know you see some things. I know you just went through my phone. But it's like, now we can either go back to bed, and you could like
I'm not denying nothing that's in there.
if you could cry quietly, and and then I'll pack my bags in the morning and like I'll leave. But it's like we don't gotta leave like right now.
Yeah.
And like she set it off the way she set it off. Or whatever.
Again, another tribute to Eddie Murphy. He hit her with the Eddie Murphy roll, and he chased her out the room naked. It was just like, yes, I effed her, but I love you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It was wild. It was a wild dichotomy. But it was like in that scene, like the way that he does lean forward and stuff like that, I was like, some devious ass shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I banged with him.
sitting in the little seat, I was like, oh shoot.
Like he's like, yo, he was really like pimped up.
Yeah.
Like he was laid up like the way that The Rock tried to do it in Black Adam like 1,000,001 times on that throne. Like he was really just coasted on that. But and then that's another thing too. So like when they finally do invade Kang's fortress, there should have been like a little bit more pep in his step to do something.
Yes.
Like he just kept being like, send more people. Go. I was like, what's going on?
Right.
Like it's because like the Kang, and I know this is Joel being comic nerd. Comic book Kang is like I'll get my hand. I am not afraid to get my hands dirty in the slightest.
Right.
Like y'all are like, yo, I can see that like this isn't going. Hey, MODOK or whoever, y'all finish this thing over here. I gotta take care of some light work while you know what I'm saying or whatever.
Right.
And he literally waits until everything blows up before he decides to go down there.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of things people talking about like the ants whipped his ass and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't think that was too crazy of an idea. These are highly advanced ants. They're giant. They carry a ton of weight. Like all this
Are
other
they
stuff.
more advanced than Kang though? Like I feel the same way he was blowing people away. That ant could have woke up. He go like, "Sorry, I got some
I think it was the overwhelming nature of it, and it's like that's how it kind of played out the way that it should have, where it's just like you guys really can't touch me, and then like you surprise me. Like I'm a master strategist. I plan for a lot of things. I can't plan for 1,000-year-old ants that came out of nowhere. But it was like the way that it happened. Like it was just like, what's that rumbling and stuff like that? Because like what he would have done is he would have just been like, all right, I'm out. I'm gonna go back up there while this whole thing is going on or whatever. But it's just like he's just standing there, and then gets taken
Did
over.
the ants master time travel too though?
No.
If they ended up somewhere and they were living for thousands of years and then they got right back to the timeline where they were in...
I think the whole thing is like they were communicating with Hank, and then Hank was able to get them from where they were.
Yeah, but he said they had been there for thousands of years and built this whole community.
Because they landed in a different part of the quantum realm, and it's like the time works different in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
Like that's supposed to be like the whole thing.
But either way, even if the time works differently and they lived thousands of years somewhere, in order for them to get to Hank, they had to figure out some form of traveling through the time.
Well, that's what he was in the ship. Like after he dropped them off, like he takes off to go get the ants.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So like that's where that thing came from. But it's just like it's messy, bro. Like the whole thing is messy.
Yeah, it's like, how did you get all these ants here?
He shrunk them. That's what he does. Like, they're ants. Come on, man, they're ants, and then he grew them when he got there.
Yeah.
They had an ant tank.
They
Like
did
that was
have
like
an ant tank.
like you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's whack.
Is there anything else that we really need to talk about this movie?
No.
Are you excited for more Kang?
I am.
Okay.
I am. I love Jonathan Majors as an actor. There's nothing that he's...
I've been waiting for a Jonathan Majors miss, and I haven't seen one yet.
And that's what I was going to say. There's several things that I have seen him in that I'm just like, yes. I'm still watching The Harder They Fall. I'm still watching The Harder They Fall, just so you know. All right?
All these other movies that you refuse to watch, you just keep watching this movie.
Yes. It's Jonathan Majors. You can't fault me for that.
Nah, I'm not going to.
It's a stellar cast, man. It's a stellar cast. But yeah, man, you know.
Any questions about these different versions of Kang or anything like that?
Nope, because I already watched a little video, so I know who the three main guys are, and I know that all the variants of all the people in the meeting. Like the guy actually explained it from the comic book view, because
Pretty sure I sent that to you, but all right.
you might have been.
I think I TikToked
Yeah,
it to you.
yeah. He told me that the one dude was the Kane that went back to Egypt, and then you have the young dude who was kind of like fighting against the urge of becoming an evil Kang, but he looks older in the movie, so he might have succumbed to those evil intents. And then the third guy was
Well, there's Ramatut, which is the one you're talking about that went back to Egypt.
Yeah.
There's Immortus, which is the one that like you were kind of talking about right there. And then there's the Scarlet Centurion.
Yes.
Who's kind of like the shittiest.
and they're trying to figure out if that's they're saying that it may not be the Scarlet Centurion.
It might be Iron Lad.
Yeah, because he wasn't wearing red. See, I'm doing my homework, man, so I know what I'm talking about. You see that?
I'm pretty sure it's the Scarlet Centurion though. Like it's
But he wasn't wearing red.
I mean, Iron Lad wears red too, but he wasn't wearing red.
No, they said Iron Lad wears like blue or something like that.
Nah, it's an Iron Man armor, so it's like all it's like red, but like instead of like the yellow, it's like bluish.
Got you.
Type of deal. Either way, like he's like the most bootiest version of Kang. Like like he really is just like, what if Kang was Tony Stark type of deal, where it's like I make suits or whatever, but it's like all the other variants of Kang are more interesting to him. Like he's kind of like the butt.
Yeah.
Kang. So it's like
see one that looked like an alien. I'm like, an alien Kang? Like
it's
a lot of stuff going on here.
What ifs?
Yeah. Then they had the one Jonathan Majors that was like in the crowd wilding like he like missed his 8 p.m. So just like
They were done. They were done. Yeah.
Like what?
One of them was going.
Yes.
And I was like, this is racist some way, somehow.
Yeah,
I was like, what's going on?
some way.
Some way, this is racist.
Somehow,
I was like, we got
some
monkey
way.
Kangs. Like, what's going on?
Somehow, some way.
Are you excited for any other Marvel projects coming up and seeing Jonathan Majors as these characters in these movies, or like should we predict what movies that they are going to be in?
After Antman, I can honestly say I'm not excited for any of the movies.
Well, the next one is Guardians.
Well, yeah, I'm excited for Guardians. Only because I like that franchise. Yeah,
shut your ass up.
Because I was just about to say I'm only interested in seeing Kang in all these movies. But nah, Guardians I'm excited for.
I was like, because we got a new Guardians, Fantastic Four.
I'm not.
The Marvels.
No. I mean,
wait, you're not excited for Fantastic Four, bro? That's the one I'm the most excited for.
No,
Which is why I was upset when my man Cheaty.
See them, but I'm not excited for them.
A lot of people have been saying that Cheaty, the dude who could read minds, was going to be the new Reed Richards, and I was excited for it. So when he showed up in this movie, I immediately was like, my nigga's not going to be Mr. Fantastic.
I thought they were saying it was supposed to be Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah.
No, what?
Or was he supposed to be the Flash? I mean,
What the hell are you talking about?
Human Flame.
Human Torch?
Yeah, Human Torch.
He already was that in the old Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
In the shitty one.
Yes, I'm not excited for. I haven't seen a successful Fantastic Four movie, so
I like the characters of the Fantastic Four, and I know how important that they are.
No,
and
yeah,
I would
I
assume
get
the MCU would do them justice.
we'll see.
We saw Reed Richards in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. He was Jim from The
That
Office.
man got turned into shoelaces.
He did. That did happen.
So yeah, we'll see.
He was the dumbest, smartest man in the world.
Right.
Like he was like, we're not go down this whole thing or whatever.
There you go.
But like
Good
that's
job.
all it really
Good
was
job.
about Antman Quantumania. I guess wrapping up. The next big movie is probably Creed 3, if I'm not mistaken.
You already know, March 3rd.
Yeah, March 3rd. So like that's the next
3rd.
big one. We'll see y'all on part 3 for the playground, baby.